All right, so here we are at video number 3. Okay, hopefully you've read through, you've gone through the first one and have done the self-assignment and the hop assignment, and then opened up the second one, and we did a little orientation to the course syllabus and to the course outlines there and when things are due. Make sure that you are very up to speed with how the course syllabus is laid out and what is required of you this semester. You're going to be signing a syllabus confirmation, seen right here, and uploading that. And that's holding you to your part of the bargain of doing this course the correct way. Okay, so make sure that you get that into me by the end of this week, really, by Sunday. And so in this video, I'm going to just give you a little bit of background on me, and then also do a quick orientation to how the modules are set up in this class. All right, so a little background on me. I was born in New York. Grew up in New York, just outside of New York City in an area called Bear Mountain, West Point, kind of that area up in the Hudson River Valley. Beautiful area, kind of a bedroom community for the city, but beautiful, beautiful country out there. Not proud of it, but I dropped out of high school and decided to work at a sawmill, which was actually really kind of cool. And I worked in every part of this small hardwood soft mill except for the head saw. So I've everything from logging to cutting the wood up, just everything. And it was a great, great experience. And it opened my eyes to thinking that maybe forestry was an area that I'd like to get into. Not necessarily cutting trees down and cutting them up, but maybe growing them and helping to manage land. So I took off to California and worked out there for the California Conservation Corps, planting trees, and I worked at a tree nursery. I did firefighting, flood control, you name it. We did it all out there. I was stationed in the Napa Valley. Ooh la la, it was pretty nice. And when that was finished, that 1 year stint, then I spent another year working for the Young Adult Conservation Corps over at Lake Berryessa, which is just outside the Napa Valley. So I got a really good dose of working for minimum wage in the natural resources field. Decided maybe it's time to go to college. So I went to a school in Sacramento, a 2-year school, American River College, and got a 2-year degree in forest engineering technology. That allowed me to continue working as a forestry technician within the U.S. Forest Service, which I did for 3 seasons. I was a firefighter throughout the summer from 82 through 85, and worked hand crews, worked engine crews, did any number of different operations out there in firefighting. It was really exciting work. Loved it. Loved the camaraderie of the guys I worked with. And I decided that I wanted to go ahead and get a 4-year degree. And so I went to Humboldt State University up in the north coast of California and finished my 4-year degree, transferred in a bunch of courses, and then was able to finish up my 4-year degree by 1989. I believe is when that was all finished. I'm trying to go back through my dates here. And while I was working there, I picked up on this brand spanking new technology called GIS, or Geographic Information Systems, and had heard about the twinkling in the eye of this other brand new technology that was just around the corner called GPS, Global Positioning Systems. So I came in on the ground floor of all those technologies, and I loved it. I actually had gotten a minor in computer sciences, and I just absolutely loved this whole idea of computerized mapping and stuff. Love maps and love computers, and just it was a real kick. So when I graduated from there was not a whole lot of jobs open, and I thought I might like to teach. So I decided to go ahead and get my master's degree, and an opportunity brought me to NC State University, where I had a teaching assistantship. I didn't do research. I just went ahead and got my what is called a Master's of Forestry, or an MF. And And that allowed me to gain some experience teaching to see if I liked that. And I did. I really got a big kick out of it, and I decided that that's something I wanted to do. I really liked the idea of having my own consulting business, so I was geared up to do teaching throughout the school year and then consulting in the summer. When I graduated there, I actually worked at NC State doing forest hydrology research for about 3 years until a really good teaching job over at Haywood Community College opened for me. And that allowed me to move up to the mountains. And I taught at Haywood Community College from 95 to about 2006. I started up a consulting business and just loved it. I don't know, I got a little bit burned out doing all that by 2006 and started looking around for other work. And I was thinking, maybe a PhD and working overseas would be kind of a fun thing to do. So I packed it all in, moved down to Raleigh again, and started a PhD program in 2006. And while I was down there, I worked full time for Cooperative Extension in a group called the Forestry Extension. And what we did was to provide professional development for professional foresters. So all the registered foresters who are out there, and all the foresters who work for the North Carolina Forest Service, work for the U.S. Forest Service, we would provide training for them and keep them abreast of all the newest forestry technology. But we would also work with all the county extension agents. So like we have here in Haywood County, we have Bill Skelton, who's the Cooperative Extension Director. We would work with people like him to get education and outreach out into the minds of the public. So we are a very public-oriented organization, trying to get the latest research from the university level down to the people in the woods. And great work. Got the PhD in 2016, and a buddy of mine who worked at Haywood, in fact, who I hired, decided that he wanted to go off and work full-time in consulting, and that left a void open here. So I thought, gee whiz, I think I'll just come on back up to the mountains here. So I've been here since 2016 again, doing essentially what I did before I left for Raleigh. Really love it. I am retiring, though, by the end of the semester, so I just wanted to give you all that kind of heads up. This is your last chance to get me before things end the semester. All right, so enough about me. I just wanted to go over how the modules work here in the class. And so I'm just going to start off with this week's module. And usually it's just a little blip at the beginning. And then what you'll see, the format is very similar each week in this kind of a format. All right. So the first thing that you're going to do is click on this Open Me First. All right. And this gives you all the tasks and the videos that I want you to view for this week. So give you, just read through this. So task number 1 in this case is to become familiar with the course assignments, the news articles, reading and lecture quizzes and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Task number 2 is to turn in the first assignment. And that is that course, that syllabus confirmation. All right. And I'll point that out to you again in just a minute. So that walks you through what I want you to do with that. And then task number 3 is to start going through these slideshows. Now, what are these slideshows? These were actually done by, not these ones here. I'm sorry. These are some videos that I want you to watch, just to kind of get your brain oriented a little bit into some of this idea of what forestry is. And what the point of this is to kind of look at this term sustainable and what do different people mean by sustainable. It's a term we hear all the time, right? So I want you to be kind of see how many different perspectives there are out there. And there's folks who could be like the North Carolina Forestry Association. It could be folks like who are promoting sustainable logging. It could be folks who are very forestry or anti-logging folks like the Dogwood Alliance, some of these ultra environmental groups. So what does this all mean? There's a lot of different people's perspective on forestry. That's really what this first section is all about. So a whole bunch of videos, and it follows up with a really cool video that I saw when I was back at Humboldt, and I just loved it. And so I'm really glad that it's available on the web. So I posted this for you, and it's just kind of a feel-good movie about how trees benefit our society. And this was done back in '87. So that's how these things work, okay? The following week, and I'll go down to the next week just so you can see a little bit more in Module 2. This will be what you're going to see are, by the end of this module, you should be able to define forestry and the role of the forester, recognize different forest landowner categories, understand different ownerships types and ownership categories, understand the ecological, economic, and social importance of forest ecosystems. Has the required reading from the book that is required for this class. And then I want you to actively watch the slideshows, okay? And so who is this Brian Schneider character? He was an instructor here, left in August 2017, and he had worked diligently on putting the slideshows for this course into a digital format, into a digital lecture format. And so why reinvent the wheel, right? So you get to hear Brian Schneider do his lecture on the stuff that I would have lectured on had you had a face-to-face course with me. So rather than redoing all this wonderful work that Brian's done, I just loaded it up, okay, for us to use. So the thing that I want you to see is, you'll watch these lectures, and then there may be some other activities I want you to go ahead and do, and they're all listed there, okay? So the thing that I wanted to point out to you with this, though, is that let me make this a little more visible, is that below is where the slideshows would be, okay? So these are PDF versions of the slideshows, all right? So you can pull those up and print them out, write notes on them while you're listening to to Brian do the videos and all that, okay? So just want you to be aware of that. So the other thing is each week there's going to be either or both a quiz on the lecture material and a discussion board. So the discussion board, what's that all about? That's the way for all of us to become a little bit more familiar with each other, and it's an opportunity for you to ask questions. So you click on that, and what you're going to do is click on Add a New Discussion, and you'll just type in a question, okay? So what is my role in forestry? And then you type in a little question, okay? What does it all mean? No, make it a serious question, right? So, what are my chances, blah, 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 in getting the job as a firefighter in forestry, all right? So those sorts of things. And then you can answer each other's questions by, once the question is submitted, somebody can reply to that question. I will definitely try to reply to questions as much as I can, time permitting. And but those are required, okay, every week. And unless I explicitly tell you there's no discussion board, that is one way that I do attendance in this class. And it's a way for us all to kind of get to know each other a little bit better. So be aware of that. All right. And I guess that's about it for this session here. I think I will be turning on the modules as each week comes on. If you come in on the Monday morning and you see that there's no module on, just email me and I'll make sure I turn it on for you. Okay? All right. So that's all for now. And you take care, and we'll see you on the web. Bye.